Watchtower movement is about taking these loopholes out. Removing the loopholes, one step. Second step, making companies pay fair wages. Now, the minimum wage is one way to do that, but not the only way. In fact, it's probably not even the best way. It's a start, but we know the wars that would have to be fought to get there. 10-10, that's what our president was asking for 2 years ago. 10-10. A wage we can't even expect at these time of days a family to live off of. $51,000. That's the average income. $51,000 a year. Without cable, without insurance, without other luxuries, an average family will fall short by $50 what they need per month on $31,000 a year to make it. You see there, the problem lays. We are asking for a raise to still be poor. So how do you solve the equation of wealth?
Gentlemen, this is a test. Moments such as these are matters of faith. To fail is to invite doubt into everything we believe, everything that we have fought for. Doubt will plunge this country back into chaos, and I will not let that happen. Gentlemen, I want this terrorist found, and I want him to understand what terror really means.
There you go. Why don't we just ask Osama Obama what is since he won by such a big amount.
Fascinating.
So here's what you do. Well, A, and even a conservative president might accept this as a possible solution. You close all the tax loopholes. You take away from the rich the money equation in taxes, because you can afford expensive accountants, because you have the time to kill, because you don't work your ass off 80 hours a week. You don't get the benefit of taking advantage of every single loophole that exists in the system, because they won't be there. They won't be there. Flat tax. Everybody pays the same tax. Oh, the rich will be upset, because the first argument they'll make is, wait a minute, I'm making millions of dollars. I shouldn't have to pay the same tax as someone who's just making thousands of dollars. Wrong. It works well, as far as I'm concerned. Now you want to get, as your rich people, still some breadcrumbs, because they are, by the way, what makes the wheel turns, whether we like it or not. Without them, no, we can't have an economy. So what you do is you give them incentives. You give them tax cuts that make sense. Not tax cuts for sending jobs overseas. Not tax cuts for fucking ruining the environment. Give them tax cuts for giving their employees fair wages. Give them tax cuts for hiring people of all races. Give them tax cuts for being a good employee. Paying the right wage for the salary intended. We don't need a minimum wage if our companies just pay a fair wage. Fuck minimum wage. We're never going to win that war. Want to fight a war? Fight a fair wage war. Your profits should be distributed equally by effort. Effort equals money. Used to work a long time ago. I know it can work now. Secondly, you take some incentives to give the companies that pay fair wages and give them money, and take from those who don't. Hey, you still want to play by the old rules? Sure, just pay the price, pay the piper, pay into the system. We'll make it work. That's what it's all about. Now, as far as what you can do to get people off of welfare, that's a big thing that helps government out to do all this stuff. Well, you use money from the rich, extra taxes, the loopholes are closed, you charge a little extra tax. Hey, you're making a lot of money in this world. You can't be pissed off if you have to give up a house in the Hamptons. If it gives people the opportunity to work their way up and educate themselves and make good money, this works for everybody. You make this the land of opportunity and not the land of royalty, hierarchy. It's what it really is right now. Okay, so that's my plans. I have on my blog site my plan I wanted to send to the Senate about a year ago. Never got around to doing it. Next show, I think I'll actually verbatim discuss it with you. But I hope that I've enlightened a few people that anything can be done, just a matter of getting it done. By what? Oh, I remember what I said before. Writing your congressman. Oh, Ken, you idiot. Writing your congressman. What will that do? You sure you care? Sure your vote means something to them? I don't know. Silly me. What am I thinking? Anyway, if you can come up with a better idea, maybe you just take a Uzi to your congressman's house. That might work even more proficiently. Terrorist actions, I've heard, beheading is the new vote in vote. So go for it. But just take into consideration some ideas. They're long shots, yeah. Be definitely something the rich can veto to death with their millions of dollars. But food for thought.
Majority rule. taking over. The idiots are 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 taking over. They're taking over.
Follow me.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay, step 1. We're looking at it from one side. We're looking top down. If you're a conservative, if you're a liberal, you're looking bottom up. If you're a liberal, that our liberals need to be, and why I want this movement to move forward as a kind of anti-Tea Party, the other side of the equation party, is to get our liberals moving forward to the right idea, which is top and bottom, top down and bottom up. How do you do top down and bottom up? Well, it's kind of complex, but I want to simplify it for you. If the rich have so much money that they have to feel the need to have 6 houses, 8 cars, vacation homes, and staff waiting at all those houses, and money that they'll never spend in their lifetime, and money that their kin don't deserve to have because they did not work for it, and there are poor people working their butt off so they can be completely poor, working twice as hard, many hours, sometimes 2 jobs, and they're not making it, and they're working harder than the people who are rich. It doesn't take a lot of math, rocket science to figure out that's wrong. Make it right. You can't make it 100% right. I'm sorry. There's always going to be bosses, and there's always people who work for bosses. You can't change the business structure to make it work. You have to change the tax structure and the benefit structure and the codes that follow both those routes to make it work. How do you make it work? In order to get the poor a chance. But it worked in the 50s, what happened in the 60s? Basically was socialism. By taxing the rich at an outrageous amount of money, those who were not rich were able to have free education and able to afford homes on less than 2 years' salary, and cars even less than 3 months' salary. They could afford these things. They could afford to advance. They could afford to be well off. And then they went to work with the attitude that their work mattered, that what they did was making them happy. You can't be happy when, as hard as you work, the best you ever do is hope your check next week makes you through the week. Lean check to check. That's not happiness. You can't expect your workers to accept that as the norm.